But you see, these are the realities that you face in leadership. They are the realities. It says God should deliver us from unreasonable and wicked men, because all men have no faith. You know, if they have faith in God, they will behave like that. So the third offering is sin offering. Sin offering is Jesus. 1 John chapter 1. 1 John chapter 1. The sin offering is Jesus offered for us. And I want to share a little bit on this. Sin offering. In 1 John chapter 1, verse 7.
But if we walk in the light,
Yes.
as He is in the light, we have fellowship one with another.
Yes.
And the blood of Jesus Christ, His Son, cleanseth us from all sin.
His blood cleanses us from how many sins? All. So Jesus is our sin offering. Now, this is made a little bit more complex and in-depth. If you
The blood of bulls and of goats, and ashes of a heifer, sprinkling the unclean, sanctify it to the purifying of the flesh. How much more shall the blood of Christ, who through the eternal Spirit offered Himself without spot to God, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living God?
see, it focuses that when we are cleansed from our sin, if the Bible is yours, you can circulate. It mentions conscience, verse 14. Conscience. Because the root, you know, some people have not forgiven themselves. You need to follow this. Some people have done some things they have not forgiven themselves. And the bedrock of iniquity in our life is in the conscience. People will not do things that are wrong if their conscience does not justify it. You didn't hear that one. What did you hear?
People will not do things that are wrong if their conscience does not justify it.
You know why people steal money, politicians steal money. You know why they do it? Because their conscience justifies it. You know why a man will go and sacrifice his son to an idol or to a cult? Because his conscience approves, is acceptable. So he says one thing Jesus does is that He deals with our conscience. Our conscience is transformed from dead works. Chapter 10, verse 26 and 27.
For if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins.
When we sin willfully, now your conscience has told you this is wrong, and you go against it. That is a willful sin. If your conscience has not yet told you, it is not willful. You need to follow this. It's a little bit deep. But when you have been told, there are people who sin out of ignorance. Okay? They didn't know. We'll read it in a minute. But you have already known. For example, you know that you should pay your tithe, and then you deliberately refuse. This, so that is a willful sin. I know that fornication is a sin. Okay? So if I fornicate, it's a willful sin. You do not get cleansed from it. It's important to follow this. I know that lying is a sin. I know it now. Some people don't know that lying is a sin. For them, it's not willful. Can you read that passage again? Read it, then we read 1 John. It will help you so that you know as you deal with things, you understand that there are some sins God will not forgive. Okay? They are not following me. See, I'm taking time to teach and to explain, because these are key things that is guiding the children of Israel. So you will hear that in the Old Testament, in Deuteronomy, God said, if a girl is found not to be a virgin, stone her to death. Why? Because everybody knows that not being a virgin is a sin. But when you read Hosea, God told a prophet to marry a prostitute. Why? Because now, from the time the children of Israel moved into the land of Canaan, in fact, one of the women that organized them to take over, provided a platform for them to spy one of the territories they conquered, was a prostitute. So for that culture, prostitution was acceptable. So you now understand. Oh, so there is a mixture now. So there are those. So you see some things said in Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy that are not enforced later in Scripture. Is somebody following me here? Then you start wondering, but God who said they should kill prostitutes here, why is he saying now that a prophet should go and marry a prostitute? Why is he saying that? Because now they are living like we are living today, in a mixed environment where you have things acceptable to one that is not acceptable to another. Are you following? Are you following Scripture? Otherwise, you read Scripture and you make errors, you make mistakes. You start to justify one thing because you didn't understand how it developed. So let's read that Scripture again. Yes, sir.
We sin willfully after that we have received the knowledge of the truth. There remaineth no more sacrifice.
No more sacrifice. What is going to happen to you? Next verse.
But a certain fearful looking for judgment and fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversaries.
So if you are due for 15 crowns in heaven, when you sin willfully, they deduct your crowns. You face judgment. You lose part of what you should get in heaven. Simple. When God has given you a prophetic word to take to somebody, and you say you will not go, his blood is on your hands. You will go to heaven, but they will deduct it from your reward in heaven. So some people right now have upstairs in heaven, mansions. But by the time they are dying, it's reduced to boys' quarters or gate house or under the bridge. If it is enter, you will enter. It is when you get there you will discover that entering heaven is not the best. Look at the virgins who came to meet Jesus. These virgins prepared to meet Jesus, and they had oil. Now they are not in charge of the time. That they know. You know why the gate was closed against them? Because they sinned willfully. They are not in charge of time. They know. It's like you are flying. You want to take a flight. You are not in charge of the time. They tell you, be in the airport if it's local flight, an hour before flight time. If it's international flight, 2 hours, 3 hours before time. You can get to the airport and they tell you, sorry, the flight is delayed or is cancelled. You are not in charge. And you cannot, because of you, sue. Look, you can't sue the airline. If you have money, bring $10,000. They will charter an aircraft to take you. If your appointment is very important. If it's something you can't cancel, bring $10,000. They will bring a private aircraft to transport you alone. If you can gather 10 people who can contribute $1,000, you have $10,000. That's 1.7 million, 1.6 million. You pay them there in the airport. They will give you a chartered flight. But if you must join everybody to pay 17,000, 24,000 naira, they say, okay, your flat, you can't make noise. He says, sit down. What did you pay? 24,000. You know how much is the tire of their flat? So what you are not in charge of, they know. Otherwise, mercy, Bible says in James chapter 3, mercy prevails over judgment. What do you think? Excuse me. What do you think Jesus should have done when those 5 foolish virgins came back? About mercy. Oh, they were here, and the wise ones said, "We were here together. We came together since." And do you think Jesus didn't know they were here a long time? Do you think he didn't know that it was oil they went back to get? He would have opened the door for them, but he didn't. The reason is because they sinned willfully. Yes, brother, go ahead quickly.
So, why are we equating heaven with all these material, physical things? When it is spiritual, this thing, I say spirit will be in the spirit. Because
who says you'll be in the spirit?
No, because I've had several teachings also.
No, don't talk about teaching. Talk about Bible.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, people, mansions, all those things, what is obtainable here too?
It's there in heaven. It's in the Bible. Haven't you read it?
But I think that is it not just something to describe how beautiful, a kind of metaphor.
Okay, yes, it's a metaphor.
I don't know.
My father's house.
Okay. 1 John chapter 5. That's why you see that.
Most of the things you see on earth,
the earth is a prototype of heaven. It's a photocopy. Now, you see, that's why we encourage you to read Bible. When you read Bible, you will not just be moved by what these people say. Because sometimes somebody is preaching, he has not even read the scriptures. And then he says what is not in the Bible and you believe him. The reason is because you yourself haven't read. Okay, 1 John chapter 5. Look at this. Everybody open 1 John chapter 5. Verse 16 and 17. You need to follow this scripture very well. I'm talking about sin offering now. Yes, sir.
If any man see his brother sin a sin which is not unto death, he shall ask. He shall give him life for them that sin not unto death.
Did you hear that? If you see your brother commit a sin that is not unto death, excuse me, Romans chapter 3 verse 23 says what? The wages of sin is death. But here he's saying that there is a sin that is not unto death because it is not willful. God already told Adam and Eve, don't eat. They ate. That was willful. They chose to do it. They were not confused. They know what it will mean. So he says there is a sin that is not unto death. He says if you see your brother, read it again please.
If any man see his brother sin a sin which is not unto death, he shall ask. They shall give him life for them that sin not unto death.
They will give him life. That is, what is life? Restoration. That sin will be taken away. He won't pay for it. So if he repents here, Lord, forgive, so you understand what they do in some of these